course, it's not going to let me tag. Oh, there you are. Okay, good. I was trying to tag you, Ashley, and it wouldn't let me. Yeah, so Facebook knocks you off once you reach 4 hours. And we hit 4 hours exactly, and boop, just knocked me right off. So I apologize for that. Now, Ashley, if you're not aware of this stuff, I don't know if you believe in fairies or how far open you are to any of this, if you're aware of these things, but everybody has some type of spiritual gift and ability. We all have the capability of learning these things. And it's just a matter of what your specialty area is. We all were born with these abilities as a soul on a soul level, but when we were born into the earth and the earth's atmosphere, the atmosphere is so dense and heavy that we forgot that we had these abilities, and then we often shut them down and block them because we're told that's not real, those things don't really happen, or it's just too hard to believe. So anyway, I don't know what your background, what your history is, but I can assure you, you do have these abilities, and what happens is you can develop them. They may not come natural to you just like that, but these are your natural God-given abilities, and it just can take a little time and effort to do different exercises and things to help bring them out and develop them. So it's completely up to you if you ever want to do that or not. You don't have to, but your guides are telling me these are your actual abilities, and you are possibly able to do more than this. You'll see that a lot of these abilities are intertwined and they work together. So you might find once you start to develop these abilities that you'll find even more that aren't on this list that come easy for you. But these are the ones they want us to focus on. These are the ones that are like you're natural at, and natural at in the sense of you'll learn them quickly, they'll develop quickly compared to other ones that you're not natural at. You actually have quite a few, and I think if I mention these, some of them might resonate with you in the sense of you might be like, oh, you know what, that kind of makes sense now. A lot of times when you learn these things, it might trigger something for you that makes a lot of sense, that this kind of answers a question for you about an experience that you had in the past that you never thought of from this perspective, but now you get it. So I just ask you to be open-minded and think about things that you've experienced in the past, and know that it is very possible for all of these things to be real for you, and it's just up to you as to whether or not you want them to be or not. So the first thing that came through, like I said, is they said you were psychic, which means you're a psychic intuitive, which means you can intuitively pick things up about people. Usually psychic means living, the living. So that means that you can learn fairly easily how to look at me or my picture, or be next to me, feel my energy, and pick up natural things about me that you shouldn't be able to know if you didn't know me. So you'd be able to tell, that I have 3 kids and that I'm married, and you might be able to guess my age, or, something, whatever comes to you naturally. That's what the intuitive means. It just comes to you into your intuition, and you just know somehow. So that's the first one, psychic intuitive. You're also telepathic, which means that you can communicate without using words, through your mind, mental telepathy. So you may have had experiences that you didn't even realize yet, where you think of a person and all of a sudden the phone rings and it's them, even though you haven't heard from them in weeks. You may, say, wow, I'd really wish that my mom would come in and bring me something to drink. I'm really thirsty, or I wish she'd come check on me. And next thing you know, she's walking in the door saying, did you call me? Did you need something? Different things like that. Or you might guess a song, think of a song, and then it comes on the radio. Those are all forms of telepathy. So you can either send the message, or you can receive it, or you can do both. And with a little work and effort, you can definitely learn how to do both. I'm good at pointing out personalities and who people are just by meeting them. There you go. See, a lot of us have these underlying little subtleties of our gifts that we don't even realize until it's pointed out to us. And that just means that it's there. You just need to do a little effort to develop it to its fullest, to be able to use it and control it the way that you need to or want to, choose to. You just need to hone it. So it's like being really good at basketball, but unless you work at it and practice and use it, you'll never really know what you're fully capable of. So telepathy, I also got dreams, that you're a dream reader and you have lucid dreams. So what this means is you can actually receive messages in your dreams that are like visions, and they can be prophetic, where you might have a dream of something that happens before it happens. You may have a dream that a loved one passed away, and you wake up and find out that they passed away in the middle of the night or 2 days later. Or your dreams might seem really real sometimes, and it seems like the person that you were talking to was right there with you, and it was all real. Well, that's like a lucid dream. And you may even have spirit visit you in your dreams. So a loved one that passed over may come to you. You may have a dream about them and wake up thinking, man, that was so real. It seemed like they were right there with me. Well, it's because they were. They really did visit you in your dream. Awesome. See, that's fantastic. Okay, so you're going to get dreams that can be like visions and can be prophetic. Some will predict the future, some won't. Some are just messages. There could be a message in there that your guides are communicating with you through your dreams to give you a lesson, to teach you something, or to give you a message to share with somebody else. The other one is clairaudient, which means you can hear spirit or your guides in your head. Now this one, it can be with your actual ears. You may hear them with your actual ears, but most of the time it's in your head, in your mind. Now this one can be tricky because you'll hear it, and for most people, sometimes you'll hear a different voice, but for most people it just sounds like your own voice in your head, and there's just a real subtle difference that you wouldn't really recognize unless you work at it and practice. So you might think, I don't hear voices in my head. I don't hear anybody else talking. Well, no, it's your own voice. They just speak through it. And you have to learn to recognize the difference between your own voice, your imagination, and your ego versus spirit talking to you in your own mind. So the way you'd be able to tell is if all of a sudden you hear something, your voice in your head says something that you wouldn't normally say, or something you wouldn't normally know, and you're like, where'd that come from? Well, you'd be like, that's kind of weird. Well, it's not you. It's them speaking to you through your voice in your head. Now, like I said, some people hear a different voice. Some hear it with their ears. And I think that usually kind of comes as you grow. But everybody's different. But the consensus from what I've learned and heard is most people hear it with their own voice in their mind, not with their actual ears, right away anyway. That's called clairaudience. Then there's clairsentience, which goes along with what you were just saying about being good at pointing out personalities and who people are just by meeting them. Clairsentience is when you get a feeling about somebody in the sense of they're off of their energy. from their feelings, their emotions. You can actually feel what they're like and experience them to a degree just by being near them. You pick up the feelings, the emotions, and the energy off of them. And you can also even pick up energy and feelings and emotions from the environment. So you might feel like magnetic waves or electromagnetic fields. You can feel different types of energy and things in the environment that you'll be more sensitive to than the average person. So you may get dizzy spells, headaches, and just feel off sometimes, especially when you're around certain people, certain types of people, and that's all part of it. Everybody's a little different with the way that it works for them. You may have a lot of this, or you may just have a little bit of it. And either way, even if you just have a little bit, you can develop it to be stronger. Now, they said clairvoyance, and that is actually clear sight, seeing something in your mind. And your form of clairvoyance is the telepathy and the dreams. But I also got that you're going to have regular visions. In other words, while you're awake, not just while you're sleeping. So if you haven't had those yet, I think you will develop them. Even if you don't really try, you may feel like you're almost like daydreaming, and all of a sudden you see a vision of something and it seems real. And that's because it is. You're seeing something that's either has happened or is going to happen or is a message from somebody. So I think you're going to, okay, great. You just had one recently. See, you didn't even know you were psychic, and look at that. 3 things you've already experienced, which is fantastic because that means that's validation for you that you are real and capable of doing these things. And then you're going to have the choice and the decision of whether you ever want to develop it or use it or not. And that's fine either way, but at least it's cool and exciting to know that you have that option. The other thing is I heard remote viewing. Now, this one can be a little more difficult. This rarely comes like really easy for people. Remote viewing can be very hard, but for somebody that Spirit tells me has this ability, it's going to come easier for you than the average person that's trying to learn it. And remote viewing is another form of clairvoyance, and it's where you can sit right where you're at and you can see what's going on in real time someplace else. So say like me right now, if I was a remote viewer, I could, with your permission, sit here and see inside your house and try and help you find something that you lost, or try and tell you where a piece of furniture is that's giving off bad energy or something like that. Like you could even like see inside of a safe and read the letters off of like a vault and read the letters off of numbers off of a dollar bill or something. That's remote viewing, and everybody has the ability to learn it, but it can be one of the most difficult types of abilities to learn. So that's really great for you that if you do decide to hone that skill, it's going to come easier to you than it would me, which is not my natural ability. And that's it. I mean, the other thing was a prophet, but that I already touched on that. Prophet is when you are prophetic, give prophetic messages. So you get that in your dreams or your visions. You're predicting something, usually the future. So that is quite a list of really amazing abilities. And I'm excited for you that you're discovering this. It's always fun when somebody says, I don't think so, not that I know of, and then as I discuss it, it triggers things for you. So you already learned about 3 of your guides, 3 of your 6 that you have with you right now. In time, over time, you have more with you, like I mentioned. So you've got Grundle, Amanda, and Champlain. And now you know you have all these abilities that you can develop. If you choose to develop them, I would recommend just getting online and researching them all, looking them up, reading more about them. Ask your guides to help you if you want to learn more about them. Ask them to guide you and help you. By the way, with guides, they respect our free will. They want to help us very badly. But because God gave us free will, they respect that, and they don't want to overstep any boundaries or stop us from doing anything that we wish to do. So you have to give them permission and ask them for help for things. Otherwise, unless it's like life and death or really big, they usually will not step in. But if you say, I really want your help with these things, will you please help me? That's all you have to do. Give them permission for that thing one time, and it opens up the ability for them to step in and guide you and give you messages. But yeah, I would research exercises that you can do to practice and develop each one. But the key thing of developing them and getting them to start coming in is talking to your guides and working on raising your vibration. And there's lots and lots of ways that you can raise your vibration. You can look that up as well. There's tons of information out there. Being in nature, digging your feet into the soil and being outside, being around crystals, lighting candles, burning incense, essential oils, saging yourself, using different floral type waters, are all ways to raise your vibration. But talking to your guides, meditating, all help. And if you do those things, you'll start to naturally see some of these abilities come in. Energy work, like getting Reiki done on you or learning it and practicing it, Qigong, angel healing, dowsing healing, any of the energy work on your body will open the floodgates to start making all this happen and coming in strong. So, do you have any questions or concerns about any of that before we wrap up, Ashley? Yes, that's right, Penny Lane. Absolutely. They will come in and they'll step right in and take your hand and guide you along the way. And Ashley, I don't know if you've experienced these yet, but if you start working with this stuff and doing any of the things I just mentioned, you're going to start experiencing a lot of synchronicities. And what that means, if you're not aware, and if you do, I apologize, I'm just not sure of your knowledge, level of knowledge, is what the average person like me used to think is those are coincidences. You'll start having all these coincidences happen, and you'll think, that's crazy. That just happened yesterday, and now that's happening today, and this is all connected. And you'll think, that's too much to be a coincidence. Well, you're right. And you're going to see those left and right all the time as you start to work with your abilities. And know that you're right. They're not coincidences. They're called spiritual synchronicities. It is your way of learning. It's your guides guiding you, and they are related. And there's usually a message in there somewhere. So don't ignore those, because it's a sign. It's a sign that things are happening, and it's really exciting, because the more those start happening, you know something big is happening in your life. You're very welcome. Very welcome. And you're welcome if you have any questions, like about this reading, about these specific things. You're welcome to message me in the next few days to get any clarity on them. Yes. Let me do Rachel first while I'm still connecting to Spirit here. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Okay, so Rachel is somebody's guide, but it's not your guide, Renee. Um, she's a guide for somebody else that was, I believe, supposed to be here. Oh. She's been, okay, I get the feeling like she's been trying to get in here, but having technical problems or some kind of distraction or something. But she's saying, don't worry, I'll come back next week when she comes back. She said, I've been hanging out on both sides waiting to see if it was going to work, but she said it's okay because it works out the way it's supposed to. So no worries. She's telling me not to worry about it and that we can let that go. So I'm going to thank her. And thank her and send her in peace. Okay, now about your dream. Okay, trying to remember. Okay, it was about you and Charlie. All right. Because I'm in that reading dream fog here. Okay, so Stella was correct about your dream. And for those of you that are listening and following, Renee and I belong to a Facebook group together, and she posted a dream that she had the other day asking for any insight to what the dream could mean. And without going into full detail and telling the whole story, basically she was concerned because she and her husband were attacked, like it was a home invasion in this dream, and they were harmed. And another member of the group that read it before me suggested, because Renee's very sensitive and empathic, suggested that maybe she was picking up on somebody else's energy that had experienced a home invasion and something similar. There were a couple different things that she mentioned about this dream, and I asked my guides if she was correct, and they confirmed that everything that Stella said was correct, Renee. But I also told Renee at the time that there was more to it than that, what my guides were telling me, and that I would contact her later with it, and I never got back to her yet. So beyond what she said, my guides told me there was also some symbolism in there for you, Renee, that it was kind of a double message, that you were picking up on the energy and the happenings of somebody, I think nearby, probably a neighbor in the vicinity somewhere. Maybe not right there, but close. And that there was some symbolism and an actual message, that the reason you were allowed to experience that, even though it was kind of horrific, and you wouldn't have been able to do anything about it for these other people, is what I was told. So question is, why would you have to go through that then? And I was told that the reason that it was allowed to come to you is because there was also symbolism in there, just like there is a lot of times in dream messages, about yours and your husband's relationship and some fears of things that you've been concerned about. So they told me to guide you to look into how things played out, and don't take it at face value literally, but what message you feel that you can get out of that pertaining to you and your husband's current or more recent situations having to do with fear and concern. So I need to go back and reread it, and you and I can maybe talk tomorrow or this weekend, over the next couple of days, and maybe you can fill me in a little bit more and we can maybe piece it together. But overall, that was the general message that they were giving me, that there was another reason why you received this beyond it having actual been an empathic pickup or hit. It was also for you because there was a message in it for you. But because it's not fresh in my mind at the moment and I'm not clear-headed, I can't really put it together for you. But hopefully that will resonate with you some. But they did tell me it's nothing to worry about, that it wasn't something that you should be concerned about. It was kind of like your subconscious mind displaying the fear and the issues were coming through in your dream because of your concern. I hope that makes sense. So it's not like it's predicting something that's going to happen between you two. It's more of a playing out in your dreams what you've been thinking and feeling symbolically. Yes. And that too was the pick of your mom to, like Stella said, was to kind of calm you and let you know that you didn't need to worry, that this wasn't really happening to you guys. And that even though she's alive and well, that it was like your subconscious mind letting you know. And I think it was your guides. Your guides showing you that picture to like calm you so that you didn't panic and think that this was prophetic and going to happen to you guys. So we can definitely go into that more, but it's but that's probably all I would have told you in the message anyway, and then we would have planned to talk later. So yeah, exactly, Penny Lane. And you know what? I never really picked up anything more on that except for what we had discussed, that it was past life, that we worked together. I felt like you brought me in to help you with that situation in a past life. And that's exactly what happened. I helped you with that situation, communicating with that spirit or however it happened. And you were kind of reliving it in your dream or your vision, whatever kind of dream or vision it was. But yeah, that was really cool. And that's neat. And you know what? Blu-rays all around here. So I think that's really cool because that kind of validates, I've been told and taught that Blu-rays live parallel lives together. So they're often in each other's past lives. So that validates the fact that if you're having that and it was a past life, that validates that we were in each other's lives before, which means Renee probably was with us as well. And I already know Celeste from our group, and I have a past life together. So it's really cool how that group has brought us all back together again. And before we joined this group, we, lived thousands of miles apart without each other in our lives and had no idea. So that's really, really cool. Okay, guys, you and I, Renee, will definitely get together in the next couple of days. Let's plan on that for sure. But I'm going to wrap this up. I know it's just us left. But anybody that watches this video, I'd like to say my goodbyes. But thank you for hanging in there. Thank you for watching this to the end and the second one. But thank you so much for being patient with me. I love you guys so much. I've missed you tremendously. I'm going to do everything I can to be able to read next Friday as well. But please be patient with me and understand I got a lot going on. But it looks like we fixed the internet problems on my end, and it looks like Facebook is straightened out. So hopefully we won't have problems with that from now on. So I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please, please know that I am always here. And if you want to be added to the list for future readings, please go to the notes section on my page, the link to notes, or you can find the sign up list pinned to the page. Put your name in the comments. You'll be added for the next week's readings. And I can't wait to read for you. But if you're interested in a private reading, you can visit my service page, and I would love to get together with you privately. All right. I love you so much. I know I said that a million times already, but I really, really do. So have a great night. Namaste. Take care. Bye.